Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video which is about the moral, the summary and the RTC's comprehension checks and some extra question answers of the lesson Princess September, which is written by Somerset Maugham, which is slightly abridged. So let's get started. Let's discuss the moral or the message of the poem. Freedom is the moral lesson of the story, and it is the real and true secret of happiness and beauty. The theme of true freedom is explained by the words of the bird. I can't sing unless I am free, and if I can't sing, I die. The true melody or the real artistic work can be done in a state of freedom only. The other theme of the story is the true friendship between the princess and the bird. The princess let the bird free because she loved it dearly and wanted it to be happy. The bird too loved the princess and promised to come and sing the loveliest song for her to keep her happy. Both were beautiful in their own ways, as they were open-minded and kind-hearted. Now let's discuss the character sketch of Princess September. Princess September is the youngest and ninth daughter of the king and queen of Siam. She has childlike traits which show till the end. Princess September is very emotional and greatly distraught by the death of her parrot and extremely delighted by the charming songs of the bird. When a pet parrot died, she cries heavily and refuses to eat. When the bird entered her window and sang beautifully for her, she was delighted and forgot that she had not eaten the supper. This also shows that she is easy to distract from her pain and make happy like a child. She is very light-hearted, who is proud of her new pet and wishes to share her joy. She goes to show it to the whole family. She is friendly and sensitive towards animals and birds as she takes care of the bird. Feeds rice from her hand. She is easy to influence as her sisters convinced her to keep her bird cage. Her sensitive nature shows up again when the bird refused to sing and eat. Finally, the princess is not selfish like her sisters and loves the little bird so much that she gives him freedom even though it means risking the loss of his delightful presence. She accepts that the bird can't be caged and respects the bird's freedom. This open-minded and kind-hearted nature of hers also makes her beautiful. Now let's discuss the character sketch of the bird. And we may use the words like little bird that gave company to the princess and sang beautifully, was not so pretty, could sing different songs about nature and its beauty, loved nature and wanted to be a part of it, considerate and kind, loved the princess, thoughtful, didn't doubt the princess when she caged him, stopped singing and almost died when caged, enjoyed freedom, happy and at its best when free. Promised to come and sing for the princess, loving and caring. Now let's discuss the comprehension check, which is on page number 38. How many daughters did the royal couple have? The royal couple had 9 daughters. 5 were they named after the months of the year. They were named after the months of the year because the king and the queen had many daughters and it confused the queen to remember so many names. The king had a peculiar habit. What was it? Why is it called peculiar? The king's peculiar habit was that instead of receiving gifts on its birthday, he gave them. It is called peculiar because usually people receive gifts on their birthdays. What was Princess September's reaction to the loss of her parrot? What was her mother's reaction to it? What do the reactions indicate about the nature and temperament of each? Princess September burst into a flood of tears at the loss of her parrot. She kept crying and nothing or nobody could comfort him. Her mother declared it as nonsense and said that she should go to bed without any supper. The princess' reaction indicates that she was a young, sensitive child. The parrot was a very important thing for her. That is why she cried with great grief over the loss of her parrot. Her mother's reaction indicates that she was a little harsh and insensitive. She did not understand her daughter's grief and console her. She did not think that the dying of the parrot was in any way a significant incident to shed tears. What pulled the princess out of her gloom? When the princess was laying on her bed crying, she saw a little bird hop into her room. She wiped her tears and heard the beautiful song that the bird sang all about the lake, the goldfish, and the willow trees in the king's garden. This brought the princess out of her gloom. How did the maids of honor come to know that the princess and the bird had become intimate friends? When the maids of honor brought in the princess breakfast, they saw the bird eat rice out of her hand and have its bath in her saucer. This showed them that the princess and the bird had become intimate friends. The new bird was full of new songs, but the old parrot always repeated themselves. What did they say? All the old parrots could say God save the king, and some of them could even say Pretty Polly in 7 different languages. What is the king's opinion about his counselors? Why did he form the opinion? The king said that the parrots repeating Pretty Polly in 7 different languages reminded him of his counselors who said the same thing in 7 different ways and meant nothing whichever way they said it. This was similar to the way the parrots kept repeating what they had heard without knowing the meaning of what they said. The 8 princesses made an offer to the Princess September. What was it? In your view, did they do it? The 8 princesses offered to buy a lovely green and yellow parrot for Princess September by putting in all their pocket money. They did so because they were distressed by the fact that everybody was praising Princess September's bird, which could sing different songs. Their parrot looked sad and repeated the same things. They wanted her to have the same pet as. What did the sisters advise the princess to do about her bird? The sisters advised the princess to keep her bird in a cage so that she could be sure of having it always with her. Now let's discuss the comprehension check on page number 43. In the following sentences, elaborate the parts given in bold. Under the circumstances, it was a very unfortunate remark for the bird to make. Under the circumstances, after what her sisters advised her to do, Princess September was worried about the bird. She feared that the bird might forget her or start liking someone else. She felt that in such a circumstance, she would lose her little pet. A very unfortunate remark. On returning, the bird said that it very nearly did not come back that night, as its father-in-law was giving a party and had wanted it to stay. This was the last thing that the princess wanted to hear, as it only comforted her fears. What did the Princess September do to ensure the safety of her pet? How did the bird react to it? To ensure the safety of her pet, Princess September put it in the cage. The bird at first suspected nothing and was surprised when she carried it over to the cage. After a moment or two, it asked what the joke was. When the princess said that it could be much safer in the cage as there were many cats roaming about it. It said that it did not mind at one time as long as she let it out in the morning. Why did the bird refuse to be taken out in her cage? The bird refused to be taken out in a cage because it was not the same thing as flying. It said that the rice fields, the lake, and the willow trees look quite different when seen through the bars of the cage. What persuaded Princess September to give the birds his freedom again? How did the bird react to it? When one day she saw the little bird lying at the bottom with his eyes closed, she thought it was dead. She opened the door and took the bird out. Feeling its heart beating, she tried to wake it up and cried. As one of her tears swelled on the bird, it opened its eyes to say that it was out of the cage. It said that it could not sing unless it was free, and if it could not sing, it would die. This persuaded her and gave its freedom again. She wanted it to be happy as she loved it. The bird said that it would come back because it loved her. It would sing the loveliest of songs for her. It would go far away but would always come back and shall never forget her. Then it flew away into the sky. Princess September kept her window open day and night. How did it help the bird How did it help the princess herself? Princess September kept her window open day and night. This helped the bird as it could come into her room and leave whenever it felt like. Sleeping with the window open proved to be very good for the princess as she grew extremely beautiful. The eight sisters kept their windows shut. How did it affect him? The eight sisters grew extremely ugly and disagreeable. This was because they kept their windows shut. RTC. Reference to the context. Read the extract and answer the given questions. Well, my dear, if you will check our advice, you won't run any risk like that if he comes back, and mind you, if he does, you will be lucky. Pop him into the cage and keep him there. That's the only way you can be sure of him. Who said these words to him? Whom? So the answer to this would be that Princess September's sisters said these words to her. What does he refers to? He refers to the little bird. What was the advice given? The advice was given that Princess September should keep the bird in the cage so that she don't run any risk of losing her. What was the actual reason for giving such an advice? The actual reason for giving such an advice was that because the sisters were jealous about the happiness of the princess and the bird. Did the listener follow the advice? Yes. Princess September followed their advice as they were older than her. What happened to him thereafter? And 5. After that, the bird lay at the bottom of the cage and Princess September thought that it was dead. But when she brought it out of the cage, she felt his heart beating. She tried to wake it up, but it was not possible. She cried, and when the drop of her tear fell on the bird, it woke up. This happened because the bird could not sing when it is not free, when it is in cage, and it would die if it can't sing. Now diary entry. Imagine yourself to be Princess September. Write a diary entry giving a brief account of your heartbreak, suffering, and eventual happiness. So, the clues are: the parrot died, bird entertained me, foolishly listened to my sisters, caged the bird stopped singing, almost died, let free, happy, learned the value of freedom, became beautiful, and fun-minded, married, and became queen. That's all for now. Thank you. Stay safe, think well, and continue to enjoy learning. Like my video, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. For latest updates, press the bell icon.